Hi, I'm Emery Baty for Info 261A, and I am going to be doing an analysis of the Toledo Valley Library's current teen space and programming, as well as some suggestions on how to improve it going forward. So I'd like to start with an overview of the current situation that the Toledo Valley Library currently finds itself in. It's in actually a very interesting situation right now because the Toledo Valley Library's main location on Fairview has temporarily closed. It's going to be closed for about 2 years while it does some renovations. And so it's moved from a space of about 15,000 square feet to a space of only about 6,000 square feet. So it's got just about half of the space available to it. And if you look over to our left here, you can see a layout of this space. So we have the main workroom or the main browsing area with the service desk, public computers, and then on the far wall. So here's this rightmost exit is the entrance, main entrance, and then directly across from the entrance, you can see the children's area, the teens area, over to the far left from where you would enter, but bottom left here in the diagram is the holds area, and then we have the staff workroom up at the top. And this is the view of what you see when you first come in. So this door right smack dab in the center here, you can see the teen area. And then over to the left, you can see the self-service stations. Over farther to the left, the just out of frame is a area for browsing with the entirety of the adult collection, including adult audiovisual, adult Spanish, fiction, mystery, nonfiction, new, large print, all that good stuff. Over to the rightmost here, you can see the children's space. And if you look over at the layout, you can see that the largest area is the main area. And the children's get the second largest browsing area, and the teens get the smallest browsing area. Um, this is pretty consistent with general layouts for public libraries. Teens usually get the smallest. They're usually the most maligned, yeah, unfortunately. And this sends a message to teens about their value. Because as Velasquez says in her book, space is power. The allotment of space in public buildings clearly illustrates which groups matter and which groups don't. And the message here is a pretty clear one that adults are the most important. They're the main anticipated users. Children are the second most important, and teens are the least important. They get the smallest space. And this was consistent both in the original location and here too at the new smaller location. Adults and children get the main area of the library, and then teens at the old location got honestly a room that was very comparable in sort of size. The layouts are quite different. Actually, I would say that the new layout is an improvement over the old layout because the old layout was quite long and skinny. So it didn't have anywhere really. It was pretty much just like a single file room. It was if you can imagine, it wasn't a room as so which was like just a tucked down corridor almost by itself. So I would actually say, and we'll get into this when I go over my thoughts for improvements to the system, but I actually think that this room as it stands is almost a straight improvement. So we can see here, this is going to be as if you walked in through that main door, which you can see from the inside here, and did a clockwise turn. So here is the wall immediately to your left, then the leftmost wall, and then we can see the opposite wall to the entrance, and then the right wall. And I also want to talking about space as power and giving the message of who is and isn't important. You can see these right two shelves are actually all children's collection. We have children's DVDs, children's audiobooks. These are children's. So not only do teens get the smallest space in the library, but they also have to cede a good chunk of it to the children's collection. And that sends the very clear message that to teens that even in their own space, they are not they are not they don't get their own they just don't get their own space. It's not their space, it's their space and the children's space. So even though children get their own room bigger than the teens still have to share with them. Um, And then I'll come back to this point in a second when I talk about improvements, but I also want to point out other things in this room. So, very sparsely decorated. The only decorations are this Spider-Man poster up here, and you can see in this leftmost picture here, it's sort of paint by numbers sticker setup. Um, and then you can see in this image a carpet on the floor. And then there's these two cushion chairs on the floor so you sit down on the floor. And those are cushions. So that's the setup of the room as it is now. So, what's working here? I think there is a lot of books. You can see very tightly packed. There is, they have done the best they could possibly do to get as many books in here, and there's a good variety of books. That's phenomenal. Um, and I also think that the cushions on the floor, teens I've seen love to congregate on the floor. They drop their backpacks on the floor and they sit down, sprawl themselves on the floor. I actually think that is a phenomenal way to meet teens where they're at. I think that the chairs would do better in these corners. You can see these got like very nook-like corners, and I think teens would enjoy actually dragging the cushions over to the corners and sitting there and setting up a little space for themselves. I think they would feel cozy and comfortable in those corners. And I think that's also a great use of the limited space and sort of the awkward setup of the shelves in this room. I also think that this paint by numbers is actually pretty great. Um, it's not my favorite because I'm going to talk more about the Nordic four-part Nordic model. It hits one of them, which is experiential. So it's something that teens can come in and interact with on a tactile level, which is really good and really important. But it doesn't give the teens any space or way for them to innovate or be creative or be inspired. It's not very good on that front. But it is something that shows that it indicates to the teens that this is a space to be engaged with. It's meant to be touched. It's meant to be interacted with. It's not a museum. You're not meant to just observe things statically. You are meant to come up, touch things, move things around, interact with things, leave your mark. That is really good and really important. Let's then talk about programming for teens at the library. Very quick and easy. There isn't any. There was a planned event, but the library, unfortunately, this auxiliary location didn't open in time, and that planned event had to be canceled. But currently, there is no teen programming at the Goleta Valley Library. There was a teen book club, but due to low membership, it was cut because only two teens ever showed up to that. So, what can be done to improve this space? First of all, take the children's collection out of it. The children's collection needs to find somewhere else to be. It can be moved into the children's room. There's a little bit of space in there that it can be put in there. It can be moved to the adult audiovisual section. Several I saw that near the adult audiovisual section there is a lot of adult honor books. Some of those honor books could be moved or cut and be given space to the children's audiovisual collection so it can be stored with the adults, or find something in the children's area to cut. Do we want to send the message to teens that they are less important to children, or would we rather find somewhere to cut in the children's area? The children already have more space than the teens area. These items are taking space away from teen items and telling the teens that their interests and their use of the library is less important than storing um, any of the children's collection. So take that away. And then I would argue against actually moving more teen books in here, but taking those two shelves out and putting up something to build off of that's paint by sticker by numbers display, building on the Nordic four-part model of something that they can engage with. I would put something up there that also allows them to inspire, um, innovate, create something that allows them to express themselves, express ownership of the space, but also express who they are as individual persons. So my proposal in my essay was a whiteboard. The library has whiteboards that they currently own that they're not using. Put up a whiteboard, put up some expo markers, and let the teens use that as a way to creatively express themselves. You can put up a prompt asking the teens a question, asking them to draw something up there to sort of stimulate and invite them into the space, and then let them engage from there. Let them respond to what other people write, let them respond to what other people draw, and I'll let them have free reign over the space however they would like. It can be used to show their ownership. It can be used to show that this is a space for them, allow them to collaborate with the space and engage with it on that level that they are allowed to come in here and allowed to market for themselves. Additionally, I would want to put something up on the walls that allows the teens to express ownership over the space. And this can go with some programming ideas I want to propose. The Goleta Valley Library currently has a monthly crafting happy hour for seniors, and I think that using those same exact supplies and the same exact concept, there can be a teen crafting hour. And then the products from that teen crafting hour, the teens can take them home, or they can be displayed up on these empty walls, and that serves many, many purposes. It allows the teens to see, to create decorations that they want to see. That can be then hung and shown that their expression is important, their art is important, and that their desires, what they want to see in the space, is important. That they can choose what goes in this space, and that allows them to be collaborators with the library, not just users of the library, but creators of the library space, and that allows them to innovate and inspire new creations for the library. It allows them to fully uh, habitate the space, fully engage with it. And then that connects to the Nordic four-part model that it's not just about being a static user, but about being an engaged user and creating the space that you want. It's not just for the teens, but it's by the teens. And my proposal for the very first teen happy hour is coming back to this first image when you walk in. I want the very first teen crafting hour to be dirt sheet materials, a strip of butcher paper, paint, creating a decorative sign right up here, teen space, decorated by the teens for the teens. So there's no question when you walk in this space, there is a teen space. Engaging with that, both to engage with that this is a teen space and rounding out that the other parts of the Nordic model are, I would propose an after school hours time when this room specifically is just for teens. That adults and children don't get to hang out in this room, but it's just for teens. And my proposal is an after school homework time where teens, while this room usually is pretty bare of any workspaces, that foldable chairs and foldable tables that are used at for other programs, for mobile programs, be brought in here. And so teens can collaborate with each other, work on group projects together, work on their homework, or work on any other projects they want to work on. They don't have to work on homework, but this is a time when the space is just for them, not moderated like a crafting hour would be, but just teens to be teens with other teens, unsupervised, where they can express themselves freely, have time to work on homework, have time to work together. And this hits the other Nordic four-part model parts of having a learning space, a meeting space, a space where they can learn together with each other, where they can meet and collaborate with not with the library, but with each other, with themselves, a space that's just for them to do what they would like to do, away and unobserved by parents, authority figures, where they can uh, learn and be messy and be silly, but still be in a safe environment. Uh, those are the ideas that I have. And then the last thing, the most important thing, of course, is engaging with the teens. Right now, summer reading program is in full force. Goleta Valley Library is doing a lot of outreach to talk about their new location. Now is the perfect time to talk to teens. We're already doing the outreach. We're already doing all the work to engage the community and let them know about the changes. Perfect time to engage teens, to rekindle this connection and say, we haven't been doing a good job up until now. What do you want to see? We're already asking the community what they want to see. Let's do something specific for teens. What do the teens want to see in the new location? What do the teens want to have in regards to programming. What is important to the teens to have events for them going forward? And because you don't know what the teens want until you talk to them. You don't know what your community teens want until they're engaged with. And that's another important part of the Nordic four-part model is not assuming what they want, but meeting them on their terms, meeting them where they're at, and seeing what do you want and how can we provide that. So that is an overview of the current teen space that the Goleta Valley Library has in its well-meaning but lackluster attempt at engaging with teens that they have been historically pretty poor at, given their low teen membership in their teen book club, low teen programming, low teen engagement in general, and perhaps ways that moving forward they can better collaborate with their community teams and have a better way of saying we care about you, we want you here. How can we show up for you? How can we get you to show up to not for us, but show up at our location, show up in ways that are going to support you and make you feel like members of not just the library community, but our community in general. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation and have a great day.